One story comes to mind where he was a 16-year-old student and we're going for a drive one day, and I just asked him a simple question in the car. I said, if you could change one thing, what would you change? If you could wake up tomorrow and have one thing different in your life, what would it be? And after a couple minutes of pausing and reflection, he says, to have food in my fridge. So it was really a good opportunity for us to double our food order the next day and send him home with a bag of food every single day. Not only did his attendance shoot through the roof, but his engagement with the other kids and the staff and the trust of having a trusted adult in his life, but also being able to provide for his sisters and his family was a huge success for all of us at the program.
Well, one family, their children were taken away, 4 children taken away because of domestic violence, and they were asked to work with our program, and our therapists did an amazing job, worked overtime, making sure that they have home management, budget management, and really talking about what domestic violence and when children view domestic violence in the home, what that does to them long term. And once you learn those lessons and take them in internally, you really change the way you deal with your partners and your family.
Maybe about 5 years ago, I was at Costco, and this really big, bearded, redhead guy came up to me and said, "Are you Angie?" I said, "Yeah." And he gave me his name, and I thought about it. I went, "Oh my God." And, I remembered him, and we gave each other a big hug. And I asked where he was, and he was a manager at Best Buy. And this is somebody who at the time, he came in with we did an assessment on him and his rap sheet of diagnoses. The trauma he had experienced in his life. But once he left with us, when he got placed in a great foster home, he then reunited with his grandparents, ended up taking him, and he thrived, and now he's an active member of society who remembered me, like it was at least 15, 20 years later, and was able to share that he made it and he was doing well.
So I've just started. I'm newer here, but when I came in, there was a child that had joined the classroom mid-year, so wasn't at the same spot as the rest of the class, and that child was very active, always outside, not really interested in academics, and not really interested in trying academics. Didn't really sit still for more than a minute or two, and then. Recently, that student was able to sit down and actually read through a book, right? So it's a little bit of like seeing them build their confidence, and then being confident and comfortable with us to be able to share what they're able to do, and then encouraging them to do it so that they can be successful later.
About a year ago, it happens often, but this one here really sticks out. I went and did an intake for one of my respite families. And so I went into the family home, as that's how I prefer to do them, because for me to ensure that I find the right fit for this family and for that child, I need to experience it. I need to experience the family and experience the child. Who are there? What are their needs? And what do they present? And I went into this 1-bedroom apartment in a really not so nice part of town, and found that there was 3 beds in the bedroom, and a mattress on the floor with a tent in the living room, and a table. That's it. And it was mom, dad, and 3 kids. 2 of them slept in one of the beds that's in the bedroom. Mom and dad slept in the bed. And then the special needs boy slept on the mattress on the floor in a tent. And, trying to get to know who they are, Mom could not do anything but just thank me, and how lucky she was that she was referred to our service and that she was going to get a break, and how grateful she was, and how she smiled and talked about how much she loved her children, and how lucky that she has this wonderful husband, and that they're in Canada. They originally come from Mexico, and that they found this place, and that she was just so hopeful that everything was going to be fine. And of course, we were able to give them the service, and I was able to find a family to help and support them. But when I left her home, to see her positivity and her gratefulness for such little that she had and what she had to cope with, because her special needs son was 14, over 200 pounds, and was self-injurious, and when he was acting up, was very injurious to the rest of the family. But yet that's not what they focused on. And I walked out of there with a heavy heart. One, of course, on one side being so happy that she had this grateful attitude, but so sad that to see that there's a family living in those conditions.